And we're live, guys. Evening.
Evening.
Evening up.
Right, I'm guessing we've probably got Eileen, Colt, and Perry on there waiting for us.
Well, we've at least two that I know.
Yeah. I think your cousin that you found watches sometimes as well, didn't she?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Thank
welcome.
you,
Hopefully subscribed.
Yeah, I know.
So let me have a look. What we're on? Let's have a quick look before we start. We're on. We are on 129 subs now.
Cool.
So we're getting that. So welcome everyone.
So we're 130.
It's gone down for some reason. Oh yeah, we got Tracy there watching. Hiya. Tracy's one of them. She'll be joining us next week. So we've got to think of a nice, good topic. So yep, Eileen, as expected. Oh, hang on, everyone's got a background. I'll put mine on.
I haven't got one yet. I'll go look for one while we're warming up.
Oh, hang on, no, I think I got the wrong topic. Because I swore you said it was black-eyed peas. Hold on.
You send Fergie round.
Oh, definitely send her around. As long as she's off the PCP.
Black-eyed kids and black-eyed peas. I see how you got that. Yeah.
Well, that's why I put why I done my username like that. So, also I've been watching some Carry On films last night. So, well, I think Joe started last week. I know this topic was Joe's, but do Ian or Linda want to start this one?
Well, I'll be honest, I've not found a heck of a lot out.
Well, I've got a story first, which is fictional. If you want, I can do that till we're warmed up.
Yep, go for it. Yeah,
go for it.
Excuse me. This is a fiction story. It's written by Connor Alston for Kilmarnock Academy. The Black-Eyed Children of Scotland. My dad once told me a story, or I thought was a story, about a couple staying in Stranraer on an empty street and about the terrible happenings that occurred that night. Jim and Carol, the couple in the story, lived in a house that stood on its lonesome. The roads round it coated in snow.
Any Perry?
The house was the only source of heat for miles and miles. As they were on their way home at night, a storm rolled up. The wind picked up and the snow and the hail began pelting the ground and the car. Jim was struggling to keep the car on the road, but it's too early to kill them off as yet, seeing as the story hasn't been told yet. Bear in mind, this is written by somebody at high school. When they got there, it looked like the storm was trying to force itself into the house, battering the very walls of the house. The bins swept by an avalanche of snow. Broken rays of sunlight occasionally blinding the couple after reflecting off the ice. As they entered the house, "Donald, where's your trousers?" started on the radio. While Jim swept up the snow, Carol watched One of Us on the telly, and it went quiet. Zap! Lightning struck and a shiver ran up Jim's spine as a sense of dread was oozing out his guts. But he went on and decided to call it an early night. They awoke with a crash. Carol rolled over and nudged Jim and went, "Gonna go and check what that was, would you?" Jim fine well came in that he didn't want to make Carol crab it, slouched down the stairs, peeked out the window and saw the bins all lying on their sides. He turned round. "Ach, it was the bin," he roared. He slumped back onto the couch, body aching hour, groaning with every twist and turn to adjust the cushion of him. Then out of absolutely no why, Jim rose out his seat, trudged slowly over to the doorway, swaying from side to side because he's scared. As he looked through the peephole, a bairn stood there looking awfully peely-wally, pale for the English people. Jim looked down and was thinking to himself, what the hell's a bairn doing out at 1 o'clock in the morning in clays for the Dark Ages? He was also thoroughly drunk. So Jim opened the door. As he did, an absolutely boffin smell filled the house. It smelled like cow manure and dried blood, filling Jim's nostrils, who was almost sick after one whiff. Even Carol had to cover her nose to avoid the rank smell. Back to the bairn. It had black, emotionless, glassy, and quite frankly, piercing eyes. It felt as if the bairn was staring right through Jim. The child also was dressed in a pair of fancy shoes, torn shirts, an incredibly dirty white shirt, and a pair of galluses, suspenders like Mork and Mindy. All drenched from head to foot, the bairn began tilting his head to the side, giggling. He put his hand up for a high five. Jim, sceptical of this whole thing, didn't do it. This bairn then punched Jim in the face, giggled and ran off. Jim slammed the door shut and thought, a wee chancer's gonna get it if he comes back round, and then I'll be talking him to his feather. The storm then picked up, hounding the house with every creak, followed by a crack as if the house was fighting off the storm to stay stunning. Jim went back up the stairs and told Carol Ahan. She sighed. Your head's full of mints, Jim. You're just tired. Go back to bed. Jim couldn't sleep after that, though. And his suspicions were wrecked. A wee bit later. But this time it wasn't just the door. It was every window in the house and on the walls as well. Jim and Carol both rocketed out their bed, crept down the stairs and saw all these wee bairns poking their heads just into view through the windows, chapping. Jim opened the door. This time the bairn was drenched in a striking crimson liquid which looked awfully like blood, bracht and dripping all over his face. The bairn whispered, one of us. Jim slammed the door again. Carol ran for a phone. She lifted it. The power went out. The house started sweating as if it was worried about its own well-being. Jim decided that he would be a macho man and he went outside to try and scare the bairns off and get the power back on. He opened the door, took a few steps out the entry and saw the dog dead and in pieces, hanging for the gutter, tore limb from limb with one of us written on the wall in its blood. He dropped to his knees, greeting. A cold sweat began running down his forehead. A shiver ran through his body. His skin grew pale. His blood slowed. He felt trapped, like he'd been caged in his own mind. Stuck. A passenger to what was happening. His head dropped, and he saw his own hurt lying at his knees. Carol, now alone and in the house, darted up the stair and grabbed her phone. She turned, left the room, slipped, fell forward. Her phone went fleeing out her hand. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps, smash. She followed it down. With every thump, more dread ran through her body. She then picked it up. Shards of screen alloy covering the flare. Then she had to navigate this flare like a minefield. A low hum then began ringing out around the house. So Carol leapt for the cupboard, hiding there while the bairns filled the house and began wrecking the gaff. Oh, the cracking and creaking began again, and the entire house started shaking, trying to tip the bairns out. Carol takes her chance and bellows, "Come and get me!" down the corridor. Then around the house, fists clenched, she sprinted for the door, determined to escape this house. They opened the door. She stumbled out and kept going. Her skin started going off a pale after seeing Jim's body lying in front of her, with his heart lying next to him. But she kept focus and acted before the weather and situation could eat her alive. She was confident she wouldn't face the same fate as Jim. She got in the car, started it, and got out of there, greeting all the way to the police station. They went back to the house where there they found some children. The rest are still roaming in the woodies to this day, looking for lone families or couples or anyone they can find. Carol stays in Killie with her new dog Brian in a wee bungalow, still trying to get out of the events of that night. It was a Saturday. Carol was awoke to the dog whining. The snow was hounding, a terrible storm rolled in. The walls of the house were rattling, and Carol opened the door this time. The same bairn was holding Jim's head in his hands, all decomposed and falling apart. It smelled absolutely rank. Carol stood in disbelief, thinking she had escaped that night. She was frozen. By the time she could react, the bairn had stuck his hand right through her chest and was holding her heart a Hannah. As Carol fell, the child whispered, "One of us." That was the last anyone heard for Carol, and the last known sighting of those devil bairns. Over the next week, it was reported that Carol hadn't left the house, so the police went and checked it out. They found Carol's body parts spread about the house, and on the sofa, in Carol's blood, "One of us" was written. Now that's damn good for a story from a high school bairn.
That was brilliant. None of us said a word. None of us said a word. I'm going to try and clip that for YouTube.
Right.
That would not have sounded. That would not have sounded right in one of our voices. It had to be.
No.
What was that one?
I had
Had
to
to have the
change a
accent.
couple of the words. I had to change a couple of the words to my local dialect, because a couple of them are in his own local dialect, of course, and he's from Kilmarnock, and well, up here every 20 miles, it's the dialect slightly different.
Yeah,
So
that was absolutely fantastic. That was great as hell. And
You say I've only got to walk over the motorway and it's a totally different accent than me moments.
well, I've got to travel 4 hours to find a motorway.
oh, I just got that. That would not have sounded right in one of our voices. There had to be Linda to do that one. That was brilliant. That was brilliant. Right, so despite my messing around with the Black Eyed Peas thing and that, and fantastic story from Linda, we're talking Black Eyed Children. I nearly said Black Eyed Peas again. Black Eyed Children tonight, and I think Linda's start was a fantastic start for tonight. I've done quite a bit of research on this one, and overall, Black Eyed Children seem to be nothing but pure and utter myth. Just nothing but internet crap. Although, from what I've researched, it does appear to have a basis in Gaelic and Norse mythology, especially around the Draugr and vampires and things like that. So, the most famous place, obviously, supposedly, that Black Eyed Children are seen, are Cannock Chase.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
very much so.
There has been a few photos allegedly taken of alleged black-eyed children from Cannock Chase. To me, it's just a badly taken photograph, to be honest, because if you're taking a photo in low light, a person's going to look like they got black eyes anyway. Yep, that's the one. Yeah. No, it's you got to laugh. It's like a black and white picture of two trees and a child or a person in there, and they still had to circle it. Why?
Well, it's important to get that circle in. Without that circle, we wouldn't be able to see what was in that photo.
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
Is it just me, or has it got an Elvis collar on?
That's what I was thinking.
Las Vegas Elvis collar.
Well,
I think it's somebody that's gone to a fancy dress party, dressed up as Elvis, and they got caught short and they're taking a shit in the woods.
Yeah.
And why is it darker around the image? You know, like they cut it out of something and
Yes,
placed it in.
it looks like it's been cut out and pasted on top, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, and that one, to me, it just looks like an ill child with sunken eyes.
Yeah, see, I don't buy that one either because
I think she's wearing a mask because there's a light. The line that comes down from the side of your nose seems to go all the way across her cheek. Unless
no,
she's
I think
not-
that's just the actual camera work. I don't think it's anything.
I like it, Eileen.
the under the eyes is dark and above the eyes are dark and the eyes are dark themselves. Black-eyed kids are mostly no sclera, no iris. It's just black. But the rest of it is supposed to look like normal.
Even Perry said he thought the Elvis thing as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and Eileen said it can he be Elvis because he's in her chip shop. Why not a Kirsty McCall song?
Yeah. The guy works down the chip shop, swears he's Elvis.
Yeah, that's the one, yeah. Let me get my reading glasses on so I can actually see what I'm doing for a change.
I've just put a photo in. This is one of the locations that the Cannock Chase one is supposed to be seen.
Oh, yes.
Quite a bit.
Ain't that where the pigman's supposedly seen as well, near the German?
Yeah, there's a lot of activity that's supposed to be going on around there. There's a famous ghost hunter, local. I say famous. He's a local ghost hunter, guy called Lee Brickley.
Yes, I've heard the name.
Who says the woodland is home to spirits, werewolves, black-eyed children, a pig man, and allegedly even Bigfoot.
Yes, I've heard that. Yeah.
He claims to have seen the black-eyed child, which is a girl, in 2018. She appeared about 100 metres in front of him, stared straight at him, and then vanished without a trace.
So it's relatively recent.
That one is, but his aunt also claims to have seen her in 1982. So if it's a family thing, there's also there's also a couple in 2022 who were camping in the woods who claimed that a giggling ghost moved around their tent in ways humans simply can't move, while drone footage has also caught a mysterious figure on camera in the woods in 2023. So it's one of those. I'm wondering whether the camping couple were sampling the local mushrooms.
Possibly. As you can see, there's an image there. Cannock Chase isn't that big an area.
No.
You know, how the hell would a black-eyed children, pigman, witches, UFOs, Bigfoot all live into that? It's just not physically possible.
Maybe they've
But
got a
as you
nice
said,
little neighborhood section back there somewhere.
Well, you've not. Where are we? Eileen.
It is.
what a
It
black
is
eyed
actually
children.
believed to be on a ley line now.
Possibly.
So there could be something in it.
Yeah. Well, Eileen's just said she hadn't heard of it, and what are the black eyed children? From my research, the first written report about black eyed children was by a journalist from Abilene, Texas,
Yep.
called Brian Bethel.
Yep.
According to most sources, in 1996, Brian Bethel described a late night encounter with two children approaching his car in a movie theatre parking lot. Their eyes were allegedly solid black. He subsequently posted his story on a ghost and paranormal related mailing list, news group, a post that is widely regarded as the origins of the modern black eyed children legend. Right. What most people argue, support, or debunk and cast doubt upon, the primary independent fact-checking site on paranormal claims in the English-speaking world, Snopes, classifies black-eyed children as legends rather than verified phenomena. No public verifiable evidence, no photos, no CCTV, no police reports, no credible eyewitness reports support Bethel's account or any subsequent similar ones. According to paranormal folklore analysis, e.g., scientists like Sharon A. Hill, BEK stories resemble classic urban folklore. The tales tend to spread via friend of a friend, which is well known, or like even Facebook. Storytelling with common themes repeated throughout stories. The fact after the initial story by Bethel, the phenomena spread mainly through internet message boards, horror fiction sites, e.g., creepypastas, and anecdotal reports with no corroborating evidence strongly suggests it's more myth than reality. So,
Well, it's like I said when we were chatting before. You could say that about anything we actually look at.
Yeah.
People
And if
don't
you go into
believe it.
Snopes and you look up
Anything to do with
ghosts or you look up
anything to do
anything,
with paranormal. Oh yeah, you've got folks and it shows a blurry thing. I mean,
Yeah.
Bigfoot's a main one. Look at Nessie.
Yeah.
No, it's and people don't help. They either don't want to know and don't believe you if you tell them. You could take some people out and beat them around the head with Bigfoot and they still wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So you do wonder with things like Snopes and that whether they've got an agenda trying to. It doesn't fit our agenda, so we're going to trash it.
Yeah. As Arlene said here, she's heard of them but don't know what they're supposed to be. Followed that up with some kind of elemental question mark.
well, I've got a list of stuff here.
Right? Sorry, Jay?
I've got a list of things here that black-eyed kids are supposed to have been described as.
Go for
it. They appear as children or teenagers, usually 9 to 16 years old, either male or female, or both. 2 boys, 2 girls.
Yeah.
A boy and a girl, that kind of thing. Usually they come in 2s and 3s. I've not seen any stories where there's more than 3. So who knows? They're dressed in outdated or oddly formal clothing, hoodies, old-fashioned suits, monochrome outfits, sort of grayish, etc. Completely black eyes, no whites, no irises, just solid obsidian orbs where their eyes are. Kind of like some of the celebrities these days will go in and they'll get their eyes tattooed. It's just black.
Yeah.
But even more so than that. They show up at night, often as your door, car window, lonely rural areas. They ask to be let in. Can we come in? We need to use your phone. Our mother's coming soon. Things like that. Witnesses report an overwhelming feeling of dread, panic, or wrongness, even before they notice the eyes. They become insistent or slightly aggressive if refused, but seldom force entry. If you say no and lock the door, they will eventually vanish. Also, no one has ever credibly claimed to have let them in and lived to tell what happened next. What that means, I have no idea.
I found one.
It's like the usual. It's the last place you look. It's like dying in your sleep if you fall. If you're falling, and if you hit the ground before you wake up, you're dead.
Yeah,
exactly.
How do you know?
Allegedly. I say allegedly because I've watched myself hit the ground 3 times when I've been dreaming.
I had one very, very vivid one about 3 months ago.
I ain't seen that film for years.
Exactly the same thing. I was chasing someone and I went over a wall and then realised there was nothing there.
Yeah.
There was a car park below, about 30 foot below. And I was falling face first, and it was like, this is going to hurt. I'm dead. And woke up.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
It is very much like the kids and the children of the damned, except their eyes were blue, of course, and glowed.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's that exceptionally polite. Can we use your phone? Please, just let us in.
That's not the greatest image, that one. Actually,
that's
glowed red.
The damn movie.
Yeah.
Yep. Their eyes glowed red. I only vaguely remember it from the Christopher Reeves version, to be honest.
There's another one I've just put in.
Right. Let's, where's the one? Where are we? Anyway.
I mean, they knocking and asking to come in, but can't come in. No, is that the one I've just found?
I think, is that the one?
That's
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very similar photo, but yeah. But yeah, they're knocking and asking to come in, and they can't come in unless you allow them.
Welcome back, Andy.
Suggest that they got vampirish.
Yeah, it's very vampiric.
Or demonic.
From the research I've done, a lot of it does point to Celtic and Norse myth of like I was saying, the Draugr and vampires, and the not allowed in without permission sort of thing is a basis. It's like an old cliche that's used a lot in vampire mythology.
Yeah.
Is it somebody was bored one day and they thought, I don't know, maybe writ a school project about black-eyed kids and it done well at the school and they put it out there and people thought it was a true story, or did someone deliberately go out there and make something of it?
Who knows? There's supposedly 9 things that these black-eyed kids could be. And there's it's a pretty simple list. The most dominant of the theories is that they're demonic or infernal type entities. You know, your vampires, your demons, your something of the sort.
Yeah.
And they can't enter a home without permission, which is a classic demonic rule. Overwhelming dread is interpreted as spiritual oppression. Black eyes, the windows to a soul that isn't human. And some exorcists and demonologists like Bill Bean claim that black-eyed kids are low-level demons or imps that feed on fear rather than blood. That's the most dominant of the theories.
I found one account of a wifey somewhere in Scotland. It doesn't say where. She had a couple of kids knocked on the door 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Can we use your phone? And she said she was fair, but she couldn't see the harm in it. And the phone was just inside the front door. And she's like, no problem. And you come. It's just there. And she pointed to the phone and she walked a little bit further in. So she's like halfway up the lobby of the house. And she turned around because she hadn't heard them dialing because it was the old-fashioned rotary phones. And they weren't there and the door was shut. But the following day, at the same time, she had a massive heart attack, stood in the exact same place she would have been if she was opening the door. And that was the end of her.
That could be.
That's the one account I
but
found. But she was an old lady. It doesn't say how old she was. She might have had a heart condition. Exactly, Eileen. I would be very suspicious. There was another good one I saw, which was a couple of lads. He freely admits in his story that they're a couple of stoners. And they call themselves active stoners because they go for a walk around town while they're smoking. And they were going to one of the parks. It's a wee park in a good end of town. And they just sit there blithering, like pals do. And while they were going into the park, his pal just stopped dead. And he's like, what? And he's like, look, can you see them? And they shone the torch over, because it's one of these bits where there's like one street light, but like most of the street lights in Hampshire, you'd get more light from a candle. He put the torch on his phone and shone it over, and there's these 3 kids playing in the play park. It's 1:30 a.m. When the torchlight hits them, they all freeze in place with this very strange grin on their faces, just like the children of the damned. But their eyes are black. One turns around to speak to, the first one turns around to speak to his pal. He's like, I can see them and all. And he's like, what the hell? What are Bairns doing out at this time of night? And they shone the torch back and they'd gone, but they could still hear the laughing and giggling. So the 2 of them ran back to their end of town.
Trouble with that is, yourself, it was like when I had my motorbike stolen beginning of the year. It was a 13 or 14-year-old and a 16 or 17-year-old. And that was done overnight. So why the parents, some parents literally don't care if their kids wander the streets and sit in parks and 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I think as well, some parents, thinking of some of the kids that I have come across in my life, some parents are bullied by their kids just as much as everybody else is.
Yeah.
So I think some of them, they try, but they can't.
You don't know the situation. It could be, it could be a group of kids that like the people that were doing drugs, not necessarily a bit of the old devil cabbage, might have been something worse, a bit of devil's dandruff. And the parents are, look, just go out just to stop any violence or anything within the house.
Yeah.
So, and it's like if I was to turn the light off now, you'd see my face from the glow of the monitor screen, but my eye sockets look crap anyway. I've got bags, but my eyes would look darker.
Yeah.
If you're standing,
yeah.
The story of the old lady, when she answered the door, she would have been in a lit hallway. They would have been stood outside.
Yeah.
So the eyes would look darker.
There's one I've found while I was researching. This goes back to 2009 or around that time. This guy, Portland, Oregon, he was with his brother. He was about 14 at the time. It was late, around 1 a.m. at weekend. They were watching South Park on the telly, and they were in the garage. They got the garage converted to a playroom type thing. The watching South Park and they heard a knocking on the window. And it was a big window. Curtains were up, but I peeked out and saw a woman. She looked very pale, with black hair, and her eyes were very, very dark. She could well have been a tweaker, but after knocking on the window, she knocked on the door and asked us to let her in. Me being the person I am, I turned around and said, no, hell no. But his brother, who was only about 10 at the time, starts walking over to the door to let her in. He says he had to grab him and hold him down. And he was shouting, why don't we let her in? Why she needs help.
Oh, you've met my kids then, have you, Eileen?
I think for some pedals know the word nowadays.
Well, yeah, this is the trouble. So he's holding his brother down. His brother's screaming. His mum comes down with a boyfriend. And that's what's gone on. They asked who had knocked on the window and knocked on the door. So they told him what had happened. He claims he'd never heard of the black-eyed kids before. And it was only years later that he actually looked it up. And he remembered this.
When that's said, I always get suspicious. I'd never heard of it. And it was years later that I decided to look it up.
Well, it became a thing, didn't it? I got to know about it several years ago because it was a phenomenon. Like you said, the films came out and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But he says to this day, he asks his brother if he remembers the lady and the knocking on the window and everything, and he always says he doesn't. It's like my daughter, the old man she saw.
Yes, yeah, in your back bedroom.
In the bedroom. She's no idea. She can't remember any of it. So it does make me wonder. I mean, there's a few. Sleep paralysis is another one of them.
Yeah, that's one of the things I came across. Andy said during the rituals they were fed. If I missed something, right? If it wasn't for Brian Bethel's first account, which for ages were interpreted as the zombie nation, more so now it points more towards the results for a ritual. During the rituals, they were fed blood to appease the devil, which in turn affected their brain and the colour of their eyes. That just sounds so Hollywood to me.
Yeah.
I've just got images of Christopher Lee. Reading that straight away, Christopher Lee came to mind.
If you have porphyria, you're literally fed plasma, which is the equivalent nowadays without the violence.
Porphyria, is that the one where you can't go out in sunlight?
It's a severe form of anemia, and it can affect your body to such an extent that when you poo, it's blue. Because your red cells basically are birthed and die instantly.
So I don't remember eating a Smurf.
You're consistently having to have transfusions. Sometimes when you're having the transfusion, you're also given an extra one that is literally just plasma to increase you. You know the Madness of King George movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what he had.
Yeah.
That's what he had. Exactly. It would just be your iron levels, and it would probably if it's shall we say uncleaned, as in not NHS provided, the amino acids etc. will still be in it. So if anything, it would actually boost your brain function and your iron levels, and probably make you feel ever so slightly invincible for a wee while once it's all absorbed. But it definitely wouldn't change the color of your eyes.
No.
So,
Joe, have you got any that you've come across that you found interesting?
Yeah, came across a couple. Let me get down here to here's one that happened in the early 2000s. A U.S. Marine living off base came home late. This was in Portland, Oregon area. Two kids, a boy and a girl, maybe somewhere around 13, were waiting at the security door. He came downstairs to check the mail. They asked in the lobby. They were outside the security door. They asked to be let in because their parents were coming. He felt instantly sick and terrified. He noticed the black eyes, told him to wait outside. He went upstairs and looked out his window, and they were staring straight up at his apartment. He called his buddy in another unit, and the buddy looked out and saw the same kids staring up at his window on a different floor. They vanished before security arrived. So that's two different people who saw them.
See, now that one that Joe's just said, that makes me even think more of it about being a lighting situation. Because if you say, I don't know, what did you say? What floor they were on?
No, it's upstairs, on different floors.
So say for instance they're on the second or the third floor. They're in a lit room. It's dark outside, minimal street lighting, looking downwards from a lit room, looking through a window, looking down into a dark street. Eyes are going to look dark. They are going to look black.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he saw them through the door as he was downstairs. So he was right outside the security door, right on the other side of a glass door from them. So he got to see a good close-up of them.
Yeah.
I also wonder some of the cases if it's just people like kids just wanting to take the piss, to be honest, because you can go on Amazon and by the following day you can have packs of contact lenses.
Yeah.
How easy would it be to get a set of black contact lenses and have them delivered to your property the following day or day after with Amazon, and then go, do you know what? I'm going out and going to go wind people up.
And you can get pure black scleras for $12.99 because I've had them for Halloween tours before.
I've looked. To be honest with you, I've looked into some just for like Halloween's and that for the kids and for me to put in, and
I'll tell you now, the sclera contacts are uncomfortable no matter what you do with them. They're always uncomfortable. So only for a couple hours at a time.
The basis I've found, it has been touched upon. Let me get my reading glasses again. It has been touched upon so far. Black-eyed children, as we know them nowadays, or black-eyed children in general, we all know it's a load of BS. We know it's not real. The first person that done it was a journalist and an author, and whatever reason he put it out. He said in reports himself he was sat in a car outside the cinema when they came up. That just they don't ring true. But the closest I'm looking into it, there's a need for permission motive, which comes from from vampires and European folklore. The one that caught my interest the most is the as you joking about in chat was the changeling law. Changelings, and saying that changelings isn't easy for me to say. Changelings are supernatural beings posing as children, emotionally flat, which is what's reported. Disturbing appearance, which is reported. Bring a sense of dread, which is often reported, and they don't feel quite human, which is often reported. Also believed possibly another theory is the idea of black-eyed children came from the children of the Fae.
Well, the whole changeling thing and the children of the Fae is pretty much the same thing, depending whether you're following Norse, Scandinavian, Scots, Irish, German, Polish, or whichever one. With the Eastern Bloc and the Scandinavian, it tends to be the trolls. The trolls consider if your child is brought up by humans, it's going to be higher status. So they would nick your child and replace it with one of theirs.
Yeah.
And do horrible things when they suspected it to get the beastie to
I
return.
miss that type of clothing, Eileen.
I still wear that kind of clothing.
I did, and then I realised that I've seen half a dozen people wearing exactly the same shirt as me, so I stopped doing it.
Yeah.
Could they be classified? Could they be classified? That's a good point there, actually.
You said so, no.
No?
No. Not personally, I wouldn't class them as
There are.
cryptids.
Cryptid is more
With a
animal
pure
like.
definition, as in nobody really knows what they are or if they even exist, possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
But other than that,
The only real humanoid type of cryptids that come to mind would be things like skunk ape and Bigfoot. And obviously they're hairy, and you don't really hear of hairy children.
in the Polish
ones,
in the Polish stories, the changeling child is by the time it's 4, it's as hairy as a full-grown man.
Bit like my second wife, then.
And things like that. And these children tend to grow up ugly, quiet, reserved.
I'm a changeling, then.
It's me.
Yeah. And slightly higher intelligence level than you would expect for the years.
I'm definitely a changeling, then.
I was going to say that does you out then. Me out.
Looking at the how to identify a changeling thing, I think all 4 of us are changelings, to be honest.
I wish I could change.
It'd be good, eh? It's just like
Fit young man.
Well, my idea was if I'm definitely a changing, I demand a date with Jareth the Goblin King. Labyrinth movie.
So they say that there's the black-eyed kids could also be extraterrestrials or alien hybrids.
Oh, it's always
That's
that.
the third best one. The fourth is interdimensional beings or time slip beings.
I can
Going
see
back to
why
our times-
the time slip, because the clothing never seems to be correct.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
It's 1930s to 1960s.
I would agree with that, Eileen.
Yeah. Well, if you want the Goblin King, his remainders are there. Right. From what I've got here, right, you got the need permission to enter motif, changeling law, the children of the Fae, the White Lady children, which is Norse/Germanic.
Yeah.
I've not heard of that one before, actually. That's a good point. Is very similar to the Vanishing Hitchhiker stories as well. People pick somebody up and then drive along, go to talk to them, and they're gone.
Yeah.
And a lot of stories of these black-eyed children is 1 minute there, they'll turn and then turn back and they're gone. Another theory is they're psychopomp.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, when you're in that state, you quite often misinterpret things.
Yeah.
Freak yourself out over silly wee things.
Well, the psychopomping would work with that lady who let him in the night before and died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's one theory. I didn't fully read everything I'd put on here, and it's your sort of part of the country, Ian, is a theory that they're the children of Black Annis.
I don't
see it myself.
I can't see that one myself.
It's not. No.
I find one story that's an ever so slight twist on this whole thing. I don't know if it counts as BEK, changeling, or malicious spirit. So I'm just going to read you the story. You can make your own minds up, okay?
Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
This dude once worked at a department store as a warehouse stalker guy. One night he was on the ladder and he saw this girl. She looked like she was in her 20s but was dressed like a little girl. Blonde pigtails, a pink dress with a lacy tutu-like pink bottom to it. She was leading this old lady around the store, begging for candy and toys, much like a small child would. I thought it was odd and was just watching them from 10 feet above them. The old lady was not responding and just seemed dazed and confused as this girl was throwing stuff in the cart and laughing. The girl turned and made eye contact with me, and I have never been more frightened in my life. Her eyes were blacked out, like blackout contact lens style. She kind of snarled at me and laughed. It was terrifying. I got down that ladder in record time and went to my warehouse terrified and told my co-workers. They laughed at me and went looking for the duo and could not find them anywhere. They thought maybe it was a weird kink or something that these two were playing out. The cashiers said that they saw the old woman buying all the candy and toys, but there was no girl with her.
Interesting.
And when they checked the CCTV, the woman's on it, but the girl isn't.
Interesting.
So I didn't quite know what to make of that one. I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, so either the stuff that everyone else is not picking up on it, and he's got psychic abilities, or he's tripping.
Yeah.
Would be my take on it.
Tripping is quite plausible.
I mean, I've worked with a few people who took LSD in the day, and I haven't taken it for donkey's years, literally donkey's years.
Yeah.
But still have the occasional hallucinogenic or flashback or whatever they have. They still see spaced out weird stuff. So that would be my take on that.
Good.
Having seen various things myself that others don't seem to be able to see. Like I say, he may well have psychic abilities.
I was going to say that.
Yourself, excuse me. You know yourself, Linda, with what you can see and the things you pick up on that no one else can. And if you were telling a person off the street, oh yeah, there's such and such over there.
$8.99 on Amazon.
Yeah.
If you go onto the Coloured Contacts website, you can get them with your own prescription as well. That's the ones I used to get. They were $12.99 last year. I didn't get them this year.
So the black-eyed children, as I said, as we know them, like knocking on the door and creepy and all this, can I come in, all this sort of stuff, that is all back from Brian Bethel, and it is all just creepy pasta and myth. And
well, one of the posts I saw about Bethel's story, he said he'd actually watched a horror movie not long beforehand. So
that's what I was thinking earlier. What I said about that is that he was outside a cinema at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'd been in the cinema to watch a film at the time, or if he just pulled up for some reason or whatever. But how do you know he hadn't been in the cinema watching a film?
It is a strange one, like you say. You've got the several films.
Children of the Corn,
Children of the Corn. I can't remember when Children of the Corn came out, but they do seem to bring together several.
I first watched Children of the Corn when I was a kid, so it's got to have been out like early 80s.
Yeah.
think it was.
So, but they do
81.
tend to bring together a lot of the.
Oh, it was 84. I just had a look.
Yeah.
84, yeah.
Mm.
A lot of the. I mean, you've got Vampiric,
1984.
you've got Children of the Corn, you've got other aspects of cryptids and things like that. Whether
There's
he
actually-
just made it up and because, like I said, there's nothing before the 90s, before he came out and said this.
Mm-hmm.
There is actually two or three films directly about black-eyed children. One that's literally just called Black-Eyed Children. Another that's called Black-Eyed Children Let Me In, and the other one is Sunshine Girl on the Hunt for the Black-Eyed Kids. So
yeah, that sounds a bit like the K-pop Demon Hunter kind of idea.
Yeah.
Sunshine and the Hunt for the Black-Eyed Kids.
Oh, my kids keep going on about that K-pop thing.
Yeah,
I've never seen it.
Black-Eyed Children came out in 2025. And then Black-Eyed Children and Black-Eyed Children Let Me In came out in 2015.
Yeah,
and
that's
the
what
Black-Eyed Children was in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's two more coming out, but there's no dates on them yet.
There was more coming.
There's a couple of stories like somebody driving home from work. There's an old woman walking down the street very slowly, close to the edge of the curb. So they slowed down till they got past her. When they checked the rearview mirror to make sure they definitely got past her, she wasn't there anymore. But when they were passing her, they looked at her and she looked up and they saw the black eyes. So
but that was a woman.
That's an old lady. Yeah.
An old lady.
There's actually one that came out this year, Joe.
What was that, Carl?
There's one that came out this year called The Black-Eyed Children. You can actually stream it.
Yep.
And there's a few where there's like somebody walking home. They noticed there was a bloke like 3 blocks away from them walking towards them. And for some reason, all their internal alarm signals in their head started going off. He was staring at the ground. And then as their alarm signals went off in their head, he looked up at them, stared straight at them as he walked past them. He had pitch black, dark eyes, no details. They felt like he was burning holes into their head, staring at him. He got the chills, sprinted to the store to get to work, was jumpy all day and even took a different route home. What's weird to him is that the bloke looked entirely normal, like a regular middle-class guy. Just the eyes.
Is there any?
That's Philadelphia.
Any like black-eyed children stories or urban legends in France, Joe?
No, not that I could find.
Not that you could find.
There's some in England. There's some in the U.S. There's one in Alaska in the middle of bloody nowhere.
Cool.
Alaska's the middle of nowhere everywhere, isn't it?
Pretty much.
It's a beautiful country. Absolutely beautiful country. Right. One here I just found that caught me in my attention was Scandinavian Mylinger, the door knocking spirit. A lonely traveller hears a soft knocking or crying child at night. When approached, the child asks to be carried or taken inside. If the person agrees, the spirit becomes heavier and heavier until it crushes the traveller or disappears. Parallels to the BK, children who appear at night ask for assistance, entry or being carried, harm the victims only if consent is given.
Yeah.
Eerie, harmless, and unnatural behaviour. There's a Japanese one. I'm going to give it a try. The Japanese Kuchisaki Ona variant, the children version. There are versions of a slipmouth. These are versions of a slipmouth woman story involving children who approach passers-by at night and ask questions, people report an immediate sense of dread. Physical deformity is revealed if you respond incorrectly. Split mouth woman's stories. I've always loved that myth. I've always loved it. I've never heard of one of children.
No.
And apparently the Middle East have a very similar thing that parallels the BKs, the jinn children.
Yeah.
Children of the genie. And that one I've never heard of as well. So Chat GPT comes in handy sometimes.
Sometimes it does. The Alaska one supposedly took place in 2013 on the Dalton Highway. And Dalton Highway runs from Fairbanks up to Prudhoe Bay. So it's, lonely, long, lonely road through the ice. It's where Ice Road Truckers is filmed.
Oh, I know it. Yeah.
That's where I know the name from.
Yeah. So that's the Dalton Highway. It's long, lonely, the whole 9 yards. But a long haul trucker on the highway, middle of nowhere, saw a boy standing on the side of the road at 4 a.m. in negative 30-degree Fahrenheit weather. So that's what? I don't know what that is in Celsius.
Cold.
Yeah, very cold.
Yeah.
The kid had no coat. The guy stops to help. The boy walks up to the
minus
passenger window.
34 in Celsius.
Yeah, there you go. That's pretty cold.
Yes, Nippy.
But the boy walks up the passenger window and asks for a ride to Fairbanks because my mom is waiting. Why on the road would this kid be on the Dalton Highway #1? And his mom is waiting in Fairbanks. But the trucker sees the eyes, the black eyes, feels a crushing dread, and he floors it. Looks in the mirror, and the boy is gone. 10 miles later, the same boy is standing on the side of the road again. The trucker radios other drivers, 2 more reports seeing the same child over the CB in the next hour. So there are other truckers on that same road are seeing the same kid.
Yeah.
I think
So I thought that was an interesting one.
That is an interesting one. That I like.
And I've got one that's supposedly filmed as well, but I didn't dig long enough and hard enough to find the actual film. But they say you can find it.
Oh, Samara from the Ring.
Yeah, from a Ring camera or a doorbell cam. I don't know if it's Ring or what, but
yeah.
But
I look Japanese horrors like The Ring, creepy girl coming out of the well, but comparable. Very much so, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's where some of it, because a lot of it says here, the earliest parts of the BEK stories heavily rely and are heavily shaped by the horror film convergence between 1980 and 1990. So, and I think it was Joe that said a lot of films with it was either Joe or Ian said about vampire films and all that for the year. Often their eyes would go black or they'd go white or they'd go red, and so it could well be there. Found here was quite interesting, although it's not BEK as we know it nowadays, but it's very similar things. You got pre-1800s foundational tropes, uncanny or replaced children like the Celtic changelings, doorway rules and invitations like the European vampire, child ghosts seeking help like the Meilinger, shapeshifters miscopying humans from jinn stories. After 1800s in literature, you've got the omen children, increase in moral ghost stories featuring our expressionist children, ghostly messengers, myths from a narrative shape that resemble the BEK, and especially in the early 1900s, Gothic literature. Black and unnatural eyes appear as symbols for possession, like eldritch influences or worldly identity. I was literally about to actually say eldritch entities. And a lot of series nowadays, from the remake of Sabrina and even like Stranger Things with Vecna, the eyes are black. It does seem to be quite a trope within.
No spoilers. I'm only up to series 4.
all 5 is good.
Yeah, I know, but Netflix cottoned on to the fact that I don't live in the same house as my mum's machine that lets me watch it.
Yeah, it done that with me in Hollywood. So, but yeah, the PK, we can all 4 of us say from the Bethel story is all completely bullshit. It's just
From that point on, yes. But just like you were saying, there are so many things that are similar to black-eyed kids
Yes.
who happened for centuries.
Yeah.
So
worldwide as well.
yeah, exactly. So you've got all that stuff going on from all over the place. Now, Bethel's story is this, and that's sort of went viral, et cetera, et cetera. And that's where this whole black-eyed kids thing got on. But if you look at history, you know, changelings, Gen kids, the whole 9 yards, you start looking at some of that.
One of the ones I found was one of the smaller countries in Africa. I forget which one now. If a lady has had a series of miscarriages or stillbirths or whatever, she sometimes will wake up a few months after the last one and find a child in her room who's calling her mommy. They mistakenly presume it's the spirit of one of their lost children, and they're very pleased to see them. And it's only when they see these children in daylight, or these ghost children in daylight, they have black eyes. And that story's been on the go since the 1600s. So that, again, yes, it could just be spirit, it could just be folklore. 1600s, the whole world was filled with folklore.
Yeah.
Urban myths.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's like everything. It's come from somewhere.
Yeah, every
lie has a great kernel of truth.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. They always say there's a kernel of truth somewhere along the line, don't they?
Yeah.
So
but when you get them crossing continents,
mm-hmm.
and you get it crossing cultures,
yeah,
there's got to be more to it than hearsay. And I mean,
that's like why I like the African thing, because I thought that kind of tied a few together, of course, with the British Empire stuff and all that.
And there's also, you got to think, there's also the aspect of like translation, that somebody that can speak the language but don't quite understand a word and they misinterpret.
Yep.
So that happens well, not just in paranormal, just in life in general. That can happen.
Yeah.
But especially
kangaroo was what's that animal? Kangaroo. Means no idea.
Yeah.
yeah. And he's stuck. But yeah, that interpretation. But like I say, when it crosses continents and crosses cultures,
right?
And as we've said before, history in the past wasn't recorded; it was all word of mouth.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the old adage, the story grows taller on down the line.
As it passes through the grapevine, it gets more productive.
Yeah.
Exactly. It gets more added.
There are theories about that, Eileen, that several different conditions that we understand nowadays, including autism and spina bifida and several others, could be why people were saying their babies had been stolen and replaced by the trolls or the fairies or the whoever, depending what continent you're on.
Yeah.
So
it's a good excuse for hiding kids away or doing away with kids.
There's one case in Ireland where somebody's wife was accused of being a changeling.
Oh yes, I know this one. Go for it.
Yeah. And a bunch of the neighbors got together and effectively helped her husband kill her. And because even after the fact that she was dead, they all swore blind that this was the changeling. This wasn't the wifey herself. They all only got done for manslaughter. And there's umpteen documented things. One of the
Mhm.
ways to get the trolls, the fairies, whatever, to give you your child back and take theirs back is to put the baby on a shovel and hold the shovel over the fire.
Oh, I've not heard that one aspect before.
No.
Yeah. Or warm up the oven and put them inside. Can we all say Hansel and Gretel?
Mm.
Well, there is that, but that
Cold
has actually been used by midwives to keep kids, to warm kids up. I've read stories about that. True life stories.
The other thing, there's a Scots and an Irish thing. I've given it, putting a key or a penny into a baby's crib or pram when you meet them for the first time. Because if you put iron beside the child,
Fairies don't go near it.
Stops them from getting to it.
Yeah.
I remember my late nan telling me that as I was growing up. Apparently, when I was little, I used to be in a Silver Cross pram when she took me out, and she said always had iron key underneath the mat.
Yep.
And I remember asking her why, and she said that that was an old folk tale to keep away the fairies.
Yeah. The Irish do it a lot when they see a new baby. It's like, oh, here, I've got a present for the baby. And they give them this key, and the parents are like, what? No idea.
Well, another one with the changelings, how to get rid of them or prevent them, is lay the father's clothing over the cradle. Never let the fire go out in the house. Sprinkle urine round the cot and put something made of brass or iron in the cot.
I saw one where you put a jacket upside down on the child. So, like, put its clothing on upside down, back to front.
Yeah.
To confuse it, because then the fairies or the trolls that are coming to steal a beautiful human child are looking at the ass and going, I'm not taking that.
Yeah, well, some say it's my best feature, but
You got any others, Joe?
Let's see. I've got one from Glasgow.
Oh, do tell.
If I can find it here real quick. I moved on looking for something else.
There's a lot of black-eyed people in Glasgow.
Too many Glaswegian kisses.
Yeah.
Here it is. In a Glasgow tenement in 2014, a woman gets in the lift on the ground floor. On floor 3, a boy and a girl get on board. They stand completely still facing the doors. The boy says, "This is the wrong building. We need to get to number 42. The woman notices the black eyes, panics, and presses the button for the next floor. The doors open. She runs out, looks back, and the kids haven't moved. Still facing forward, the door is closed. She takes the stairs down and watches the lift indicator. Then goes straight up to the top floor, 13, stays there for 2 minutes, then comes all the way back down. Doors open and there's nobody in it. But that's what she reported.
Now, I don't know what it's like up in Scotland. Some parts of it down this end, mostly in public toilets, but you also get it in lifts as well. They put like a violet or a purpley or blue sort of light in there. So when the drug addicts go in there, they can't find a vein.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If that's in a lift, if you got that in a lift or some public situation, are you going to really be able to see someone's eyes clearly?
Those usually only come on when there's an emergency, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
So they have regular lights on.
No, some of the public toilets do have them here, and it's horrendous. I actually stopped using one of the public toilets in town when they had it because it just triggers migraines in me. It's that horrible fadey. You would see more if you were using night vision on a camera.
A lot of Norfolk, a lot of Suffolk, and quite a lot of Essex have them on permanently. Right? As soon as it starts getting slightly darker, They'll even have them on during the daytime, some of the public
Yeah.
toilets, because apparently you can't see the vein or something.
Yeah, it doesn't help. But I would imagine if you're
check that out next time I'm in one of them, because I've got some really visible ones on my arm, so I'm going to have a look.
I don't know. I've never done drugs in my life, so I wouldn't know. But
No, neither have I.
I remember years back when I was late teens. I worked when I lived in Canning Town. I went because I had a drink problem at the time, and I was just getting starting to get off the drink. I worked with a group that would go around schools teaching kids about the problems of drugs and drink and things like that. And I learned it there. And it weren't until 16 years ago when I lived in Norwich, I thought, hang on, that light's got a blue light in there for some reason. And it hadn't dawned on me. And then it just like clicked sort of thing. And then I noticed that when we took the kids out, I think we went to the light show, a couple of the public toilets in the park there had it. But it was weird. They only tend to have them in the men's toilets. They don't tend to have them in the female toilets.
Up here they are in the ladies as well.
Are they?
Yeah, and the disabled ones, because the disabled one's the only one where you get any privacy to do such things.
Well, I know when I used to work doors, we didn't have lights, but we used to spray the toilets and everything with bleach.
Yeah.
So they couldn't do lines off the top of them. I've just put a photo in. Joanne, who's been listening, who's watching while we've been talking, has been doodling.
Nice.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's really good for a doodle.
That's fantastic. Oh, the eyes are creepy. But yeah, no, as I said, the Black-Eyed Children's, like the Bethel version of Black-Eyed Children, is just complete bullshit. We all know it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
But it looks good on TV programs. It looks good in stupid rags like the Sun newspaper and things like that. You know.
Yeah. But in 200-300 years, people are going to be saying it's true.
I'll be back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. People are going to be saying it's true. You look at the Grimm tales.
Yeah.
You look at a lot of the stories that are around now. The worst stories.
Yeah.
And they
I'm seeing 100 years time that they're going to genuinely believe that through the 90s and 2000s there was a creature called Slender Man wandering about killing people.
Right.
You know, because there's like that case of then two girls had tried to murder their friend because they wanted
I thought.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the girl died or if she survived.
I don't know. I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But yeah, but this is it. I mean, now we've got cameras, we've got audio, we've got recordings and everything else.
Yeah.
But you look at photos from 50 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Attempted.
Yeah.
Attempted.
I think I saw something about one of them due to get out soon as well, apparently. Or one of them's I think one of them's asking to get out, and they've got a parole hearing or something coming up. But as Ian said, most legends, no matter what they are, whether it's Bigfoot or Black-Eyed Children or aliens or UFOs or whatever, there's always a nugget, a very small grain of truth there somewhere along the line. And then it's just like when you're at school and you play telephone. The first person to whisper something, and then somewhere along the line of, like, say 10 kids, somewhere along the line, someone will go, "Oh, that sounds really boring. I'm going to change it just for a laugh," and it gets changed. You know,
they might change it, but I mean the most famous one of those is during the war. The actual message was send reinforcements. We're going to advance. when it finally reached where it was supposed to get to, the message they got was send 3 and 4pence, we're going to a dance.
Oh, Christ.
So that story's changed down the line. And like you say, people might turn around and say one thing, someone mishears it, or they think, oh, I'll embellish that.
Yeah.
Like I say, I've done it at work before. I've said this before, where I've started a story just to see what actually comes back to me, and I've had people swear blind that it's true.
Yeah.
When I know full well it was me making it up half an hour ago. But they know the person who actually did it. Yeah,
there's
me.
one here I've just found. Scandinavian miling story. Farmer travelling home at night heard soft knocking on a remote cabin door. A pale child appeared and asked, "Carry me." When the farmer lifted the child onto his back, it grew heavier with each step until he collapsed. The child revealed itself as a miling, the ghost of an unburied infant, crying for the proper burial it would never receive before vanishing. That's kind of heartbreaking, really. A spirit attaching itself because it wasn't buried properly. Like I said the other week about hollow ponds in Walthamstow. You know, there's bodies. Mothers had literally come out from Whipps Cross Hospital. They'd got pregnant by the American troops, and they'd literally just thrown live babies into the ponds. You know, the thought of a child trying to grab on as much as it can to anyone living so it can get a proper burial, that's kind of heartbreaking. That is kind of heartbreaking. Oh, and there's this letter too, yeah. I believe it's that Anissa
She was released.
Oh, she has been released.
And then, let me make sure I got that right. Geyser was released in 2025 to a mental health group home. Wire was released in 2021 after 7 years.
Yeah.
What we got here?
Released to a mental health office. I won't say that.
The one I was, yeah.
Yeah.
As Eileen said, the grains of truth become corrupted along the way. Yeah, they do. In some ways, it annoys me because when you try to do something serious, like you want to go, say, like one of you want to go onto a location and do an investigation on something, you'll have the stories that you've heard in the back of your head, and you've got to try and go, right, no, that was a story. That's not right. That's someone's opinion. This is what I'm actually seeing. But then again, it also makes it more exciting.
Yeah. But I must admit, I don't tend to do research when before I go.
That's right. And that's what I was going to say too.
For just that reason, I don't want my view colouring.
Yeah.
We had a historian on my team for quite a long time. She was very good and very detailed in her research. But she would go ahead before we went someplace and she would research, find out everything she could about it, but she wouldn't tell us anything.
Yeah.
And then we would go in and we'd take notes, of what we found, all the detailed stuff that we did. And afterwards, we all go have, tacos or something and discuss what we did and go across it. And she would verify what we found against what she had found. Or, no, I haven't heard anything about that, either which way. But that was an interesting way of doing it. That way, we're not swayed by stories that we've heard.
Yeah. That is a good way of doing it, yeah. All right, I've just got them. You're thinking about the Slender Man things just come through. I wondered what that was that pinged. So, Ian, have you got any others?
Look at me. Again, another one. The story I found. User or the guy who's selling it happened when it between 16 and 23. plagued by a girl with black eyes in his dreams. She was always trying to kill him. She was about 8 to 10 years old. Similar sort of thing to the Japanese long,
one,
dark hair, etc. But unlike the Japanese one, you could see her face and her eyes were black. And most evil grin. Kept waking him up. She was trying to get him to do things in the dream. Trying to get him to follow her, things like that. He got rid of her, he says, like in his dream, by walking up and telling her that you need to leave. But if you ever need me, you know where to find me. Gave her a hug, and he's never seen her since.
That's interesting.
But his grandma said he used to talk about not getting a knock on the door. And the little girl would be stood there with no eyes, smiling at her.
That's I was wondering about to say that actually. You often hear, it's usually in horror films and all that, but there are supposed true stories of people seeing ghosts that don't have any eyes. I'm wondering if possibly that's where the idea that Bethel got his idea from.
Possibly.
Maybe.
I mean, with this one, it was his grandma who told him how to get rid of her. And then after she told him, and he went up and hugged her and said, if you ever need to. It was a few nights later that his grandma heard the knock on the door, and there's this little girl outside the door. His grandma slammed the door, and they've not seen her since. But whether she changed, she came to him in the dream.
So there could have possibly been some form of visitation.
Yeah.
Why a spirit would want to try and kill somebody, I don't know. But Eyes of the Mirrors.
You get succubuses and incubuses. Like I said, we've said before, sleep paralysis.
I've been on my own that long. I could do with an incubus right about now. As Eileen just said there, Eyes of the Windows to the Soul. That was another thing I was going to mention, because the old saying is that eyes are the windows to the soul. And there are a lot of tribes out there in Brazilian Native Americans, for instance, believe like you can't have your photo taken because your soul gets taken out. And that the eyes are the windows to the soul and things like that. Could that be another basis where, along with like the jinn and the changelings and things like that, could that be another basis where a lot of these misconceptions and urban legend come from?
Hi, Stefan.
Hi, Stefan. So, one I just saw here that was quite interesting. It was recorded in the 19th century. Enographers like Edward Lane, Manners and Customs of the Modern Egyptians, from 1836. So that goes back quite a way. A family in Cairo reported a small child appeared at their door at night asking to come in because he was lost. When they approached, they noticed his eyes seemed completely black and his shadow did not match his body. Realizing it was a jinn in disguise, they recited prayers and closed the door. The being screamed and vanished. So that is very similar to the black-eyed children story, and that is from 1836. So,
I say whether Brian Bethel has picked up on things like that. came up with this story.
Oh, he was a journalist. Let me have a note. I'm just wondering what type of journalist was he. Let's have a quick look.
There's one here from 1982 from East Yorkshire.
Go for it.
Family driving at night was flagged down by two children about 10 to 12 years old on a deserted road. The children asked for a ride home because their mother would be worried. When the driver looked closely, both children had completely black eyes. He felt instant terror and sped off. This was published in Paranormal magazines in the early 1990s, predating Bethel. Lots of stories of that kind of stuff.
Looking at it, Brian Bethel, senior staff writer at the Abilene Reporter News in Texas. His reports appear to cover a broad mix of local news, community issues, civic government matters, and human interest stories. He's also written on less controversial topics. For example, an early article of his describes his personal, somewhat spooky alleged encounter with what widely became known as black-eyed children. So I was wondering if it was like it was a slow news day and somebody had said to him, like, "Oh, come up with an idea." Let's look at, like, for instance, Sunday Sport, for instance. I remember years back when I was a kid, it was World War II.
Double decker bus round on moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if that's where it came from, but it says he's mostly done like local stuff, like, I don't know, a cat's gone missing and things like that type of thing. So
human interest type stories. Good story. The kid makes a great jump on a ramp on his bicycle or something.
Yeah. Would they really, if there's somebody doing that menial sort of boring type of news, just to like a page filler, would they really go to someone like him, or would they go to somebody that's more into like murder cases and things like that to write a more spooky story? I don't know.
No, I don't know whether he's written anything since. But we've all got stories in us.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets me how prolific some people are as authors. And they've got might start out in a menial job. What we consider a menial job. I mean, number of TV programs that are written by people who started off as copywriters or things like that.
Yeah.
The job doesn't really define your imagination, does it?
No, it's true. Let's have a look. That appears to be literally the only story. That appears to be literally the only story about black-eyed children he's ever mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I say, whether he's written anything else or whether I don't know.
It says he still works as a journalist and he still writes basically the stuff that he was doing previously.
Yeah.
So I was just curious. I was just wondering if, because the black-eyed children kicked off so big that it became memes, it became famous creepypastas, and it's one. It says there it's one of the most popular creepypastas around. Is the black-eyed children stories. I was just curious. I wondered if he'd gone into like being an author like Joe and writing stories based around black-eyed children, or alleged.
Yeah.
There's no record of him doing it.
I mean, you think about it. The black eyes are creepy enough. But if it's on an expressionless face of a kid
who speaks in a monotone,
yeah, that really would creep you out.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. Mind you, kids talking in monotone. I think that's most kids in general nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, they
Well,
do, but you've got this kid sitting there with black eyes, and it's going, "Can we use your phone?" Or "Our car broke down. Can we use your phone? It's
Yeah.
cold. Can we come in?" Something along those lines is going to be kind of creepy.
Yeah.
It's surprising the number of ones I've read where they always say the mother's waiting for them.
Mm.
Yeah.
The mother's coming to pick them up.
That is the most common I've seen. Yeah.
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 One of the thoughts of what these things are is could be the ghosts of dead children. I don't buy it so much, but that's one of the explanations. That's number 5 in the order of these ideas. But they say some witnesses report the kids were wearing clothes from the 30s to the 60s, even earlier some. And "we need to go home" or "our mother is coming" lines sound like residual type hauntings. But the counter argument, and I have to agree with this, is ghosts rarely knock at doors and ask permission in such an organized way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just walk through. If they can, they'll walk through.
Yeah.
So that kind of adds a twist of what the heck to it. Another one is tulpas or thought forms. Mass belief made manifest.
That's good. That's a good point. Yeah, Tulpa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got Brian Bethel's story went mega viral on the early internet. Millions of people read it, visualized it, and subconsciously believed it into existence.
Yes.
The phenomenon keeps replicating because the template is now burned into the collective unconscious, similar to how Slender Man is causing real world stats.
Yeah. From Stefan, always thought down the line of aliens, if they think we see kids as harmless and they try to mimic them.
Yep.
That is one line.
Aliens, demons.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same
Demons
thing.
were number 1 on the list. Vampires number 2. Aliens number 3.
The alien aspect of it, came up in the research that I was doing, and they put it down as a link of the black-eyed children, the big black almond eyes of the alien greys, blah blah. Aliens ain't visiting Earth. Why would aliens want to come to this bloody planet?
Aliens are already here.
Oh, I think. Well, in fairness, I'll have to see what happens with it because I've been keeping my eye on it. But there's 2 American scientists that have got a peer-reviewed paper that's meant to be coming out in 2027. They reckon they potentially found proof that humans are here from panspermia.
Yeah.
So technically, if they what they do is been proven, does get proven, then humans are the aliens to the planet.
Well, there's an awful lot of talk about
description.
Sorry, Joe?
I said I know quite a few who fit that description.
Yeah,
But aliens, from most of the readings, tend to be lizard-like, reptilian, rather than human.
You know, so that aspect of
demons,
that aspect of the reptilians has been about for a lot of years, but it only became more prominent and the public when they had the Doctor Who episode, The Hidden Earth, which they've actually even they've named it. I think it's the Solarian hypothesis, or however it's pronounced, which is the reptile creatures from the Doctor Who. But you get nutters like David Icke that promote it, but he sells millions upon millions of books doing it.
No, he's made his fortune from it, so.
Oh, Christ, yeah.
He is the son of God.
Yeah.
I
remember that episode of Wogan very well.
I've been listening to a lot of sci-fi stories on YouTube. I just put on my headphones and go about my business, listen to them.
Anyone else? While Joe quickly says that, it reminds me, I'm trying to do these as podcasts as well, so that if you're going out on your runs, or if you're at the gym, or if you're on the train or a bus or something, you can listen to these as well. So anyway, sorry, you were saying, Joe.
But no, you threw me off track here.
You're saying you're listening to the
Oh, I'm listening to a bunch of UFO stories or sci-fi stories where it's the humans against the all the other aliens, et cetera, et cetera. It's funny that in almost every one of them, the bad guys are always reptilian aliens. You know, and you know, they're lizard-like people, or they've got 4 legs, or they're, you know, whatever, 6 arms and 4 legs and 3 eyes, and you know, and I'm listening to this and hearing,
sitting there licking their eyebrows.
right.
Sorry.
But it's just funny listening to these things. All these people who write these things all have the same idea. So the reptilian types are this, and the spider ones are that, and the ones that are more crystalline or human-like are the ones that are nicer on the scale. And it's funny how that occurs every time.
But the thing is, before that TV series V came out in the 80s, I'd never heard a single report of supposed alien visitations or had been kidnapped by an alien. And
Well, it was late 80s, early 90s that David Icke went off his rocker, so of course you hadn't heard of them before.
In fairness, I had to laugh because
I loved that series V. That was my favourite at the time.
The remake was dreadful.
Robert Englund.
Yes, it's
it was fantastic. It's a mousy.
But I had to laugh recently. I don't actually follow him, but occasionally have David Icke stuff come up on Facebook, and he'd complained to a newspaper reporter that for years his kids would walk down the street and get bullied and get the mickey taken out of them. I thought, Jesus Christ, you went on the Terry Wogan show and said you were a reincarnation of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
at a time in history when the entirety of the UK watched the Wogan show.
Yeah.
Well, it's coming up to the 2,000 years as well, wasn't it? So
yeah.
Right.
He was due for making an appearance.
Well, it was due to make an appearance a couple of months ago, and he didn't turn up, did he? So I reckon he missed his bus.
Must have done.
Weren't we supposed to have that alien ship land a couple of months ago?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, when's that?
I don't think that happened.
The Rapture's due any time, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
That was about 2 months ago.
I don't remember hearing anything about it.
Didn't get picked up.
There was what made me laugh. There was so many Christians that were so believing in that rapture.
Oh,
there was
Jesus.
one story I saw, a woman actually gave up her children.
Oh,
she gave
no.
up her children because she said her children hadn't been good enough, so they wouldn't be following her to heaven.
And she was good enough, and she gave up her children.
I saw one where this guy had sold his car, his house, and told the cost of it, and all the rest of it.
Yeah, and when the rapture didn't happen, he tried to get it back, and they told him go forth and multiply.
Yeah, I would do the same. You don't go and do stupid stuff like that, especially your house, your job, and all the rest of it, unless you have something in writing so you can go, here, look, this didn't happen, I want everything back.
Well, talking about in writing, there was one American guy, he had saved, I think it's something like $130,000 in savings he had, and he had billboards printed saying that the rapture was coming. He remortgaged his house and got rid of his car.
Oh.
And obviously, we're still here. So he's lost everything.
Yeah, but is he?
Go ahead.
The rapture's only going to take the chosen ones.
Right.
Wouldn't it be funny if it's only the atheists that the rapture's takes? And the actual so-called Christians, the ones that are left behind?
Rapture or raptor.
I was going to say, wouldn't it be funny if the rapture just turns out to be the mothership coming to collect the slaves?
And it doesn't help when you've got actual Harvard professors like Harvey Loeb saying that Atlas 3IA Atlas is an alien spacecraft that's traveling around the sun and coming back to Earth. And this is a Harvard professor.
Indoctrination is
he believes
indoctrination.
in the rapture as well. He's just given his excuse first.
But he said exactly the same for a Muamua as well, didn't he? So there's one I found here, which is quite interesting. And this is from the 1700s.
Oh,
So it goes back quite a way. Oh, that goes back quite a way. The Edo period Kaidan tradition recorded in collections of Kaidan Roku in the 1700s. In one tale, a merchant walking home after dusk was approached by a silent little girl. She asked softly, "Will you walk with me?" When he agreed, her face shifted. Her eyes grew dark and hollow. Her mouth stretched unnaturally, and she vanished with a shriek. The encounter was later described as a child Yuri testing the living.
yeah, the Uri. I
Yeah.
found something similar to that reported by drivers
Mm.
on god awful nights, middle of storms, etc., etc. There are the sightings of the black-eyed people and kids at the side of the road. There are also the sightings of people with their mouths stretched wide open walking along the road in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the night, in the worst storm you've been through. So that seems to have transported, I mean, the nerd in me wants to say people have heard these stories, they've seen something weird, and their brain has given them that image because the brain can't identify whatever the weird thing was.
So they try and link it with the closest thing that they can.
Yeah. And in this world where everybody's connected with the internet, you can't keep a story quiet for very long.
No.
So
comment from Stefan. I think aliens would be energy beings, would make travel a lot easier. If spirits are made up of energy, it is not so far-fetched.
Yeah.
I can see the point in that, yeah.
I can see the point in that. I do believe there is other planets with life on there. Without doubt, the sheer size. I just don't believe that they're coming here. I really don't. Because
we're the ant farm in the corner of the classroom for the others, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be something out there. There's too many rocks floating about just in our own solar system.
Yes.
Much less when you include the entire sky.
Yeah,
but as far as I'm concerned, we're just the little ant colony in the glass case in the corner of the room.
No, I'm sorry, Linda, you're wrong, because the Bible says that the stars up there are just candles, so they can't be.
Yeah, well,
I want a candle that lasts that long.
We've only actually been around 2,000 years as well.
Yeah.
The battery's dying. Right, so what we're going to go for next week? I don't know if Tracy's still there watching, or have you gone off to? I don't know if she's still watching. What are we going for next week?
We had ley lines on the list.
We had ley lines, black-eyed kids, ley lines, skinwalkers. I think we had on the line on the list last week. So I don't mind either.
Can I make a suggestion for Wednesday the 24th?
Yeah.
Santa Claus / Odin / St. Nicholas, and whatever we can find on
Zeus.
that myth. Zeus as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it's going to be the 24th is the following Wednesday, not this one, but the next one. So
is it really that bloody close?
Yep. Sorry.
I better finish wrapping the kids' Christmas presents.
I was going to say you can't see me from the worst day.
That's got all sorts of connotations.
Yeah, I was letting that one slide. Joanne, have you covered mirrors before? Mirror magic, black mirrors, etc.
We're hoping to do one on witchcraft itself, not witches, but witchcraft. One of these days, we're talking about it, and that could very well be included in that.
I'm not a lover of mirrors, especially after dark, and that's nothing to do with me looks.
Well, we got 2 votes for ley lines now.
Yeah, very ley lines, and Stefan said
Stefan.
ley lines, yeah.
And Carl did as well.
And Cole did as well. Oh, guess we're doing ley lines then.
Oh, well,
Um,
thank you.
So witchcraft?
But yeah, we've got at least 2 there. Ley
Mhm.
lines, mirrors, witchcraft.
Yeah.
We got skinwalkers. as
Scrying.
well.
Yeah.
It was a way to
Skinwalker,
see
scrying.
was the other one that was. Well, scrying you could definitely do with mirrors and the same.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and witchcraft and all that, certainly.
Yeah.
I did make guys, when I lived in Leiston, I did make myself a black mirror. I tried it, I think 3 times. I never got anything from it. Nothing happened at all.
I've only had one where wasn't a black mirror, but it was a darkened room, and I ended up with a cowl and amongst tonsure. I know I've got bugger all there anyway, but it certainly wasn't me looking back at myself. And then I found out that after I did the research, the building used to be part of an abbey.
Nice.
Could there have been more transfiguration, though?
Communication, it fits.
Possibly, but like I say, at the time, I hadn't got that information even in the back of my head. That's why I don't do the research before. If I can.
I think it was Fifth Element up Paranormal team up in Liverpool. When they do their public investigations, they regularly do transfiguration in red light. And some of the videos they've posted are extremely interesting. They're well worth looking at.
I had a good one with transfiguration once. Wasn't anything to do with mirrors. I was on one of the Edinburgh ghost tours, and in Eileen, you'll know exactly where I'm talking about. You go into the Covenanters prison. It's the second 3 walls and a roof mausoleum on the left inside the Covenanters prison.
Yep.
And there's a bunch of us in there. There's like 25 of us in this tiny little room. And I'm just doing a video. I didn't, my phone video. Phone didn't have night vision capacity, so I was just going with what light was in the room with the various people having their torches all pointed to the floor or the ceiling. And I watched on camera a blonde lady turn into a little old man. Literally watched it on camera, and I couldn't help myself. I ended up muttering a little, "Oh my God." And I ended up with 5 people looking over my shoulder, watching it as it was taking place. But looking at her as herself, she was just herself. But on camera, she was turning into somebody else. Now, I did forward it on to Jan Andrew Henderson, who ran the tours at that point. I presume he still does. And, of course, he gets so many submissions from people from the tours in the Covenanters prison. It never made it anywhere. And, I mean, that's like 15 phones ago, so... I don't have it anymore, and I really wish I had uploaded it somewhere so that I could keep it. But it was just so weird because it wasn't even like we were doing anything. It was just the guide was just telling the story. So we weren't even doing anything, and she's literally turning into an old man in front of me on the camera. But face to face, she's just herself, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? So...
They work in this day and age where gender fluidity's all the rage.
Yeah, but she aged about 30 years in 5 minutes.
Well, they do work.
Identified as a young woman.
They do work in mysterious ways, so they say. Well, has anyone got any last black-eyed children tales before we go?
One little brief one. There's a lassie worked in an office. This is 25 years ago it happened to her. And it's one of these offices where basically the business sells things to businesses. So you don't have customers coming in and out. She's in the office, glass door at the front door, always locked when she's in because it's in a bad part of town somewhere, again, Philadelphia. And because it's a glass door and she's working in the evening, she looks out the door before she goes out. It's one of them funky glass doors. Looking from inside, it's just a tinted window. Looking from outside, it's a mirror, right? And she's got to go out and meet somebody from this other business. And she looks out the window and through the door first. There's nobody there at all. Absolutely fine. I can make it to my car, which is literally like 200 yards. She opens the door and there's two teenagers stood in front of her. Can we use your phone? No. Bolted back in, shut the door, locked it. They're banging on the door that hard that it's vibrating in its frame. She phones the police. By the time the police turn up, they have just vanished. She doesn't say that they faded away or anything like that. It's just they were there 1 minute and gone the next. The police rewound the CCTV to have a look. You can see the door vibrating.
And there's no one there.
There's nobody there. But you can see the doors vibrating with the impact, but there's nobody there. The kids aren't on the camera. So I like that one because the vibration was visible on the video.
You just made me think when you said phone. That does seem to be a commonality across most of the stories I've read. They always ask to use a phone.
They either need to use the phone or they need a lift.
They need a lift.
Parents. Yeah. So I'm wondering if later on if there is something that's identifying as a BEK, if this is going to transmogrify later on into, I've got a message from grandma for the rest of the family. I mean, that wouldn't take into account the black eyes thing, but it would certainly take into account of freaking the hell out of people for no apparent reason.
I think Eileen's got a good point there that she made, though, was the old saying, "The eyes are the windows to the soul."
Yes.
When you look at someone, you do try to make eye contact, and if you're looking at someone's eyes and they're blue, they're green, or whatever, it's fine. But if you made eye contact with someone and there's literally nothing there apart from blackness, that would make any creepy story.
I saw one theory where they think it's the angel of death parading as a child. And I can give you a freaky story from personal accounts. Now, I know I haven't met you guys in person yet, but about 5 years ago, I had an appointment at Aberdeen Hospital. And I'm at the desk signing in, as you do. And literally, the receptionist was looking at a screen and she's typing away. And she looked up at me and she went, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "What? What's wrong? What's wrong?" Your eyes just changed color while I was looking at you.
What?
Checking in for a hospital appointment. Apparently, my eyes turned blue.
Changeling.
Yeah, proof that she's a changeling.
And I turned around to sister. I says, "Well, I've got photos of myself throughout my life where I've got grey, green, blue, brown eyes." And there's no apparent pattern to it except when I'm depressed or the weather's crap, I have brown eyes. When I'm in a good mood and the weather's really sunny, they tend to be blue or grey or a slight green tint. But she's like, "No, the whites of your eyes turned blue while I was looking at you." And by this time,
Very good.
half the folk in the waiting room are giving it, what the hell? I have no explanation for it. I looked up everything. The only thing I could find is if you have osteoporosis, you have a blue line around your iris. That's the only thing I could find. But that's the third time in my life that somebody's done that. But that's the first time it was anybody that could be classed as a medical person.
Well,
so it was just so funny because she just shoved herself back from the desk. She's like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, what? What did I do?
Not that bad. Thanks.
So looking up,
Ricky.
so it was kind of pointless. It was kind of pointless me getting that picture for the background because I got it all wrong.
It's still funny.
Where is the love?
Yeah,
Right.
that's well. Going back to what Carl was saying before about wanting an incubus, you can have the incubus. I'll stick with the succubus.
I'm not any of them. Thank you very much.
Didn't I?
No, you said incubus. That's why I was
I
laughing.
did say incubus. Yeah.
I meant succubus.
I could do with an incubus for a while.
Bilbo did the same.
No,
Bilbo did the same, and 5 different chat show hosts were ribbing the hell out of him for it.
Freudian slip.
Yeah.
Well, I've spent 19 hours trying to get that bloody video going.
Here we go with the excuses. Methinks he doth protest too much.
Right. So we're going ley lines.
You could do like I do, put it on YouTube, put it playing, and just close the phone and put it in your pocket. It's still playing. Sorry.
Right, so we're going ley lines.
Ley lines, definitely.
Ley lines, witchcraft. Like I say, I think we do St. Nick on the 24th.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all the variations of the different
incarnations.
stories,
Yeah.
And next week, are we doing just ley lines or ley lines and witchcraft?
No, ley lines.
We'll do
They're
witchcraft.
both too big a subject to cover in the same one.
Yeah.
We'll do witchcraft after Christmas.
Witchcraft in the new year.
Yep. Yeah. Let me just look at my calendar. Right, so 17th will be our first one with Tracy, provided obviously I won't say it online because it's obviously
notwithstanding any disasters.
Yeah,
there'll be 5 of us.
Because it's obviously their private stuff, so I won't say it on. But I've given you a rough idea what's happening. So, provided there's no problems there, Tracy will be with us next Wednesday, which is the 17th.
And the seasonal screw ups, which do happen to all of us at some point or another.
Yeah, the following one, which you said St. Nick and all that, will be the dreaded Christmas Eve. Oh God, I'll be around.
You have to make sure you've got all your present wrapping done. Those of us that are on screen, and the rest of you can do your present wrapping while we're on.
Yeah. Thanks for the chat, guys. Night, Eileen.
Night, Eileen.
Yeah. So. Oh God! I mean, I'll have the noisy kids around me, all excited for Christmas Day. In fairness, I've got all of my presents. Right, I think I've got about 2 things left for Kynan to wrap and 1 left for CJ. I've tried to go really unusual this year.
Well, no, I tell a lie. I have done some.
I did it all mine yesterday.
So we're going.
Right, Joanne.
Like deities like Zeus, Odin, Saint Nick, and things like that.
Yeah.
On the 24th, and the following week, the one after, which would be New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to do witchcraft. I thought we'd done witchcraft, didn't we? Oh no,
we did witches.
We done history of witches, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did witches and the witch trials and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I wasn't on that one, so
yeah, we didn't do witchcraft itself, and what it is, how it works, blah blah blah.
Yeah, we'll be sitting here most of the time and letting Linda do all the talking on that one.
Well, she's gonna do spells all night, and we'll be fine.
Well,
But
I
that is
just,
cool.
I just had to look up La Befana, you know.
I beg your pardon.
January the 5th into January the 6th is La Befana. The
Right.
witch,
I've not heard of that
the
one.
witch who gives presents.
Oh, okay.
So,
So,
You said something before, Linda, which about not having metals in the flesh. I think that's something we need to remedy
mm-hmm.
next
yeah,
year.
it don't help that I don't drive, unfortunately. But
You'll do a Mr. T on you. Drug you and
oh, it's Eileen's birthday on Christmas Day. So, well, happy birthday for
My
Christmas Day,
deepest
Eileen.
Yeah,
sympathy,
early
because
happy
that means you
birthday.
only get one batch of presents. Sorry
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
And 22nd is my son Kieran's 26th as well. So,
Yeah,
now
22nd
really-
is my parents' anniversary.
cool. I'm starting to feel really old now. Right, it's been fantastic as always, guys. Basically, though, BEK as we know it nowadays is just basically urban legend and
that. In the
spooky
realms
stories,
of fiction.
all just pure fiction, but all loosely based in
Yeah,
potential mythology.
Yeah.
yeah.
And Cole, cheers for tonight, guys. Catch you next week. Yep, definitely. At one point, we actually went up to about 12 people watching, so that's
Oh,
pretty
wow.
cool.
Excellent.
Those that can't come and watch us on the previous following up videos, we'll all wish you happy Christmas from now, or whatever you
Yeah.
want to call it, happy holidays, and hopefully see you all next week. So take care, guys. Bye.
Yep.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.